Hello, welcome to the first episode of NoCoFM, the podcast. I'm Rebecca, also known as the Naughty Jam Lady. So in preparation of market season, which officially begins in May, I thought we should go over some of the things that you can expect if you want to join or participate in your local farmers market. Today, we're actually going to talk about how you can get involved with the local farmers market and the worst and best customers I ever had. Now, of course, I'm not going to use any names, mainly because I don't know theirs. However, I think it's a good thing to talk about because the farmers market is becoming a really huge deal. And more young people are getting involved with it. So anyway, today's sponsor, first and foremost, is the Designer on the Hill. Just give me a second to move my papers around. I'm very official like that. The Designer on the Hill is today's special. If you're growing a small business, work smarter, not harder. It's time to do a strategy call. In just 1 hour, you can actually clarify your brand and get your business ready for more opportunities and feel more confident about your vision. Danny, the Designer on the Hill, actually talked me into doing this podcast. So case in point, if I can say that. Anyway, special offer for NoCoFM viewers/listeners only. You can book a 1 hour strategy call with Danny for just $45 with promo code GROW45. So follow the Designer on the Hill on Facebook and or Instagram today to book your call to start building the business you've always dreamed of. Thank you, Danny, for sponsoring this episode. I really appreciate it. It only seems fitting since you're the one who gave me the idea. She was all like, you need to start a podcast. And I'm like, I don't know if I have time to start a podcast. But, you know, that's how we roll. We're doing this. And that's what we're all about. I don't know. I'm in a funny mood. What can I say? Anyway, if you're brand new to the concept of NoCo, it's the short form for Northumberland County. And hilariously, I actually printed out a map of Northumberland County. Hold on one second. I'm going to move my mic so I can show you properly, okay? This is very official. This is so much so like how all the people on the Instagram do it. I know I sound old. I'm really not that old, I promise. Okay. So this is like Bowmanville area, okay? We're about an hour and a half east of Toronto. So once you hit about Bowmanville and it turns into Port Hope, that's where Northumberland County kind of starts. Then you go across to Cobourg, and then it goes all the way across to Brighton, where they have the famous Apple Fest every year. And then you go north towards Campbellford, where they have a cheese factory of all places. I've been. They have a lot of cheese. And not just, I mean, you're like, duh, back it's a cheese factory. I get it. But like when I went in there was so much cheese that I had problems actually finding the cheese that I wanted, but I think maybe I was just overwhelmed by all the hunks of cheese everywhere and all the fridges. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you go around Campbellford and then you go just below Peterborough. I believe this is Rice Lake. And so that is Northumberland County. And we shortened it to NoCo because it's, Northumberland County. That's a mouthful. So anyway, Northumberland County Farmers Market Podcast. For short, NoCo FM Pod. Because, I don't have, it's a very long title. I know, I'm big on the big titles. Have you heard about my French vanilla coffee cherry? It's the longest title for any jam anywhere. Let me put it back on my spoon. And yes, this is one of my jam spoons that I use to make jam. But I think this might just be like pure podcast spoon now. Feels like it might live here now. Anyway, welcome to the studio. Hello, it's so nice to see you. That's Northumberland County. If you want to get involved with your local farmers market, you wouldn't believe how many people have actually messaged me who don't even live here. They live in like other places. One of my friends, Mike, texted me from Mississauga, where I grew up. And he was like, how do I get involved? And I'm like, oh, Mike, I don't live in Mississauga. I have no idea. But I feel like this would be like a blanket suggestion for anybody who wants to get involved in a farmer's market. So what you do, come in close. I'm going to tell you secrets now. Go to your local farmer's market. No, I kid. No, but seriously, go to the local farmer's market, farmer's market. There we go. Close enough. Doesn't matter. And find the manager. There's always someone running the show wherever you go. My favorite one to bring up is Laura at the Coburg Farmers Market because everybody knows Laura. Like, Laura's a big deal. And so if you go to the farmer's market and you come up and you're like, oh, how do you get involved? Blah, blah, blah. They go, hold on. I know Laura's here. There she is. She got her hat on today. Someone knows where Laura is. And then you go over to Laura and usually someone like the manager will explain to you. You go to a website or a social media page and then there's like a form that you fill out with all your information and what you want to sell. And then you have to find out like the criteria because different things require different permits or health certificates or food handlers. I don't know. It's totally up to you what you're going to sell. I mean, you could be a beautiful artisan who comes once in a while and you don't need to get any permits because you're knitting cute little baby hats in your basement. I don't know. It's your thing. But anyway, then once you go through that process and they send you an email that's like, congratulations, welcome to the blah, blah, blah farmers market. We can't wait to have you. And we're so thrilled that you want to join. Then you got to start thinking about setup. Okay. That's when you have to pull out the big guns and go and find yourself a 10 by 10 tent. This is pretty standard across the board. So far, I've done farmers markets in Grafton was my first. Coburg, Codrington, Port Hope, and I feel like I've done one more. Oh, I no, there was two in Port Hope. Two different people putting on ones in Port Hope. Anyway, oh, and I did one in Workworth, which was a lot of fun. 10 by 10 tent, wherever you go. And you can get these tents. I buy mine at Walmart. It's like $120. It lasts me like 2 or 3 years. You might hear my son upstairs yelling and running around. He's always doing a TED Talk here or there. And then what you want is weights. Now, for the first couple of years that I did this, because I wasn't sure if I actually like really want to participate in like a farmer's market that much, I got reusable grocery store bags, and I filled it with, we had a lot of like bricks, like patio brick. And we weren't doing anything with it. We weren't in the middle of a project. It literally came with the house that we bought. So I put some bricks in the bags and I would take them to the farmer's market and I would tie them to my legs of my tent to keep it down because you have to get weights. Oh my gosh. One year, I was doing the Grafton Christmas market and a huge gust of wind came and lifted up my tent and took it like it tried to take it down the street. Luckily, I grabbed it. 2 other people who were walking by, random strangers, I didn't even know these people. They like walked by and grabbed my tent. And so like the 3 of us were holding it down. I had to like call my husband and be like, get down here and hold my tent. It was highly embarrassing. But also I was so grateful and it was really nice because I was like, look at the community I live in. How sweet are these people? But now I bought these bags off of Amazon. Both sides open up and then you pour sand in them and then they wrap around the leg and then you Velcro them. And so they look like cute little boots on the bottom of my tent. Sorry, I got so excited there. I moved my mic completely out of my face. And then, so you need your tent, then you need a table. Generally, you need a table. Not everybody needs a table. Sometimes you have like wood things and you don't need a table, but we get folding tables. You can buy them from Staples, Costco. Also, you can get your tents from those places too. Not Staples though. I don't think they have tents. But Costco, Amazon, of course. And then once you have that, I like a good tablecloth. And everyone always asks me, oh, it's such a beautiful tablecloth. Wherever did you get it? I bought my tablecloth at Winners. I buy all my tablecloths at Winners. They're like $20. They're so cute. They last forever. And I like to do seasonal ones because I'm that girl. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, okay? She was very Martha Stewart while I was growing up. So yeah, I know what tablecloths are all about and color matching and all that nonsense, but it's fun. I enjoy it. So now you've got your tent, you've got your weights, you've got your table. You might want to bring a chair. I have used my chair maybe a handful of times. Usually it's when the weather's bad is when I sit down because not a lot of people like want to come out during the bad weather. I think it's romantic, but I also read a lot. I'm not going to answer the rest of that question. Okay. Then you're going to want, hand sanitizer. You're going to want hand sanitizer. You're touching money. You're touching things. You're touching chairs. You're touching people. Sometimes they're touching you. consensually, of course, you're going to want hand sanitizer because, like, it's just, ugh. And sometimes you have to use, like, the public bathrooms. I'm going like this because in Coburg, it's behind me in, like, a funny little shelter area. Um, and you're going to want to hand sanitizer, okay? Just trust me on this. I also really like baby wipes because I'm the woman at the market who's like, oh, your baby has chocolate all over their face. Would you like a wipe? And then the mom is like, I have some, but yeah, okay. Because, you know. Anyway, I like baby wipes for my hands. Hand sanitizer. Oh, also, first time at the market, go and buy yourself some bags. Go to the Dollar Tree. Okay, if you go to the Dollar Tree, you can go to the back. They have a bundle of 3 bags for like $1.25. Buy yourself like 30 bags, okay? Because the first time at the market, that's all you're going to need to bring. A lot of people bring their own shopping bags when they come to the market, which is so helpful, by the way. Little tip for the shoppers. Please bring a reusable bag. It's so much easier for us because we actually do spend extra money on bags and stuff, so it cuts into the profits, okay? And last but not least is a square unit. Now, when you come to my table, I have cash on me. I have $5 bills, $10 bills, toonies and loonies. I usually have a chit of about $100 because I like to have change for people. And so I have a cute little bag that I keep on my table. And now I'm probably gonna have to change this bag now. No, I'm kidding. But inside I also have a square unit. This is a fantastico. It's $50 online. I think the website is called square.com. This unit was $50. You can insert a card. Can you see the slot? Yeah, you can see the slot. Yeah, you can, no. And you can tap it. And also it came with a brand new update where I can go boop, 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 boop on my cell phone. And then people can tap their card on my phone so that you don't even have to use the unit. Anyway, I think it's genius. I think the unit, though, is very helpful because there are a lot of older people who don't have like tap capabilities. Like their card is, they haven't like updated it because they're like nervous, which is completely understandable. And don't worry, no shame. We're cool with that. So get yourself the unit, okay? You don't have to get the huge handheld one. If you're a proper business, yeah, you would have a huge one. Like Lofty Butter, they have a huge handheld one because he's a proper business. Like that's what he does. He travels all over the place and he sells his delicious butter. There's also like different bakeries do it. It just depends, okay? Long story short, get yourself a square. You will not regret it because there have been some times where I almost lost a sale and I'm like, no, my square, I have a square. And they're like, I can use debit. And I'm like, yeah, love, don't worry. You can use the debit. It's totally fine. Now that you're all settled and ready for farmer's market season, if you don't want to participate in it, like you don't want to sell anything there or help out in any way, that's okay. You can come and visit. And I wanted to make an honorable mention, which I'm now going to move my microphone again because, you know, this is the live action that you pay for. That's the good stuff right there. Honorable mention is Watershed Spring Magazine. Now, it's Northumberland County, Picton. It's like the whole area up here, okay? 4 times a year, each season, we get a new one of these, which is very cool. And it looks like they're celebrating their 25 years. So congratulations, Watershed. Very cool. I just love them because they're ginormous. They're much bigger than a normal size magazine. And it's all about local stuff. And because I didn't grow up here, it's actually really informative for me to know what's up, who's where, what are you talking about, what's in that area. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. But when you go, this is very cool. Ew. I wish I had a hand sanitizer right now. I just licked my hand. That's gross. Oh, it's like the olden days before COVID ever happened. They did a very cool article in here, which I was really excited about. And now it'll take me 4 million years to find it because why wouldn't it? No, it's on page 42. In case you have the Watershed at home. You know where you get these? You can get them at the post office, any of the post offices like around here, the grocery stores. I got mine at Foodland in Coburg, but you can get it at like Shoppers Drug Mart or a pharmacy. Like it's very cute. They have like the old style newsstand trays in the front of the shops, and you can go in and grab it. And they're free. We don't pay for these. These just show up at our house. This article was written by Tom Cruikshank. Illustrations by Valentina Giannangeli. You have a beautiful name. I can't pronounce it. I'm very sorry. But here it is. Well, here it is. And the second page, not only was Laura from the Coburg Farmers Market interviewed for it, which is very cool, but they also have a full listing of when all the farmers markets begin in the area, which I really love. However, I will say that even though it's correct on this page, the Codrington Farmers Market is on Sundays. And the only reason why I bring that up is because like 3 pages past, it says that it starts on the Friday, and it doesn't. Coburg Farmers Market is on Saturday. Codrington is on Sunday. And that's how I'm able to hit both of those markets, okay? Just so you're aware. Anyway, if you haven't ever seen this magazine before, it's fantastic. There's a couple of like funny articles, historical, local, like it's very cool. And plus, what I really like, what I actually look at the most, Watershed, just so you know, is the adverts. That's actually how I found the contact information for someone I met at a market and wanted to be friends with. I was like, oh, you'll never imagine how I found you. She was like, what do you mean? I'm like, you were in the ad in the Watershed, and that's how I was able to find you. And she was like, that's creepy. And I'm like, you're welcome. We're actually very good friends now. Anyway, that's the Watershed magazine. Isn't it beautiful? The cover changes, of course, every season. This is just the spring edition. And of course, they're getting excited for the Lilac Workworth Festival, the Workworth Lilac Festival. There we go. And that happens May 30th and 31st. You should really check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. So that's the honorable mention of today. And we talked about tents. I guess it's time we talk about customers. I love my customers. I have the most amazing customers. Hold on. This is how official this is about to get. I'm putting you back on the spoon. Okay. I absolutely adore my customers, okay? And keep in mind, I grew up in Mississauga. Yes, I've traveled all over Canada. I was a radio host for 12 years. I loved seeing our country. It was like the coolest thing, and I'm so glad that I did that. I have relocated to Northumberland County to be with my husband and start a family. I didn't know anybody here, like nobody. And so going to these markets has been really amazing for me, just making friends and being social. Plus, my actual job is I'm a voice actor. I've been doing it for years, but here's the thing. I talk to myself, not unlike what I'm doing right now. And you get a little weird. I started talking to my dogs, expecting them to like respond to me. And when that didn't happen, I was like, you know what, Beck? I think it's time you go outside and meet some people. So the farmer's market has been really great for me in that regard. However, I've been doing this for about 4 years now, maybe, give or take. I've had maybe 5 people be really terrible to me, which is very strange because that doesn't normally happen to me. I'm like the girl at the grocery store where people like stop and talk to me, and I'm happy to talk. I love people. Anyway, the worst of the worst was a pair of elderly women came to see me one day, and they walked over to my table, and the one woman looked down and she went, "Oh, your mother must be so embarrassed of your labels." And I was like, what? And then she looked down and she looked up at me all sinister like, and she was like, that must be a sore spot. And I was like, what is happening right now? And I was so thrown off by the whole thing that I was just sort of like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely, go away now, please. Just go away. And they left. But I was just like, because no one's ever mean to me like that at the market. It was the craziest thing. I think, and like the other one beside her was kind of like, so she found her friend amusing. And I was like, oh, you two are mean. You are mean girls. And you are all mean girls. So that was probably the worst that I ever had. However, like I said, like I have actual regulars now, people I didn't know before I started doing this, and they come to my table and they say, hi, good morning, how are you? They know things about my life. I know things about their lives. Like it's amazing. And they're so sweet and they're kind and they want to stock up. And then they tell me about what they're going to do with the rest of their day. And I really like it. It's a lot of fun and people are very sweet. One of the best interactions I ever had was, it had been a pretty hot day and a bit of a long day. And a gentleman came to my table and he was looking and he goes, how much are your jams? And I was like, oh, they're $13 each or 2 for $25. You get a little deal when you buy 2. And he goes, oh, that's actually pretty reasonable. And I was like, oh, that's so nice of you to say. And he goes, because I just went over here and bought a coffee from the coffee truck and it's $6 and I'm already done. And I was like, that's actually a really nice way to interpret that because I really appreciate that. A lot of people, they're like, your jam, it's so expensive. And I'm like, there's alcohol in it. Have you bought a bottle of tequila lately? Like, it's expensive. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was really nice. And it was just one of those moments where I was like, thank you for being kind to me. It's a lot of work. Making the jam, just personally, from my own experience about what I do at the market, it's a lot of work. I have to drive, buy the jars. I'm a fraud. Buy the jars, bring them home, wash them, sterilize them, make the jam, fill the jars, close the lids, can them in the canner, and then print off the labels, and then cut the labels, and then stick the labels on the jars. And then you have to get up at the crack of stupid. And get all your stuff loaded in the truck, drive to the market, set up your tent, put out your jam, get your money. Like, it's a lot. So whenever I meet someone fun or kind or happy, it really makes my day so much better. And in regards to the labels on my jars, guys, I used to spend so much money on Vistaprint for labels that were very cute. They were very cute. They were very time consuming. I got very persnickety about it. Like I wanted different animals that I spotted at the property on the jams and then the name of the jam. And it would just became like a whole thing. And I was like, you know what? This is dumb. So I stopped doing that. Now I print my own labels because no one cares. No one noticed. That one person said something about my labels. No one else does. That's not true. One other lady did, but she was trying to get me to use her as a labeler. And I was just like, no, but thank you so much because no one cares. Once you open it and you taste it, it's delicious. That's all that matters, right? So anyway, those were my instances. I know other people have other stories, and don't you worry, I'm going to be getting some other people who also sell at markets to come on here with me and share their experiences with us all too, because I think it's important for everyone to know what's going on, what we're all talking about, because we do a lot of gossip at the farmers market, because some days it's a little slow in the morning or we all get set up really quickly and we're like, well, what are we going to talk about now? So then we talk about world news and what's going on in town. And there was a weird boat in the lake because, Coburg is right on the water. But that's not the only market I work at. I also go to Codrington. I've been to some in Port Hope. So there's a lot of interesting things that go on around here. And if you're new to the area or if you're in Toronto and you just want a beautiful day out, keep in mind that a lot of the places like in this area are actually cited for filming, like TV shows and movies and stuff. So it's really beautiful and picturesque around here. So it could be a really cool day trip out here. I wish I had tissues. My nose is starting to run for some reason. Anyway, So those were my crazy customers that I had, my wonderful and not so wonderful customers. And I also wanted to say a very quick thank you to my regulars. And just about anybody at a farmer's market will tell you that they have regulars. And if they don't come every time they're at the market, they come almost every single time. And it's partially the regulars that really make your day. Like, I actually have wondered about what my regulars got up to this winter. So I'm sure in May, when the farmers markets start up again, they'll come and they'll tell me what's been going on, and I get to tell them what's been going on, which is I got a new studio brought into my house, but I'll show you that another time, okay? Because today is just like the preamble for coming up to the market. So if you're going to visit a market, bring a reusable bag, bring hand sanitizer for yourself, even if you're just a customer, okay? And also bring some cash, because there's always like one or two people who are testing out the market, so they don't want to buy a square unit yet. And so they're the ones who need the cash. So I'm always like, save your cash. You might buy something from so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Just so you know, okay? I guess that's all we have going on today. I wanted to thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate this. This is going to get weirder and wilder the longer we do this, so I hope you come back for more. Special thanks again to the designer on the hill, Danny, for convincing me to do this and for sponsoring this episode. I really appreciate it. Again, I'll leave her tag for Facebook and Instagram below the video. And I guess, what do we have going on next week? Oh, next week's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about the musicians you see gigging at the markets. We're going to talk about protocol and the etiquette that goes along with that. It's going to be very cool. We're also going to talk about like the best I ever saw and possibly the worst I've ever seen. No names. I mean, the best, yes, I'm going to tell you the names. But I won't tell you the names of the worst because that is socially inappropriate. But we're going to talk about that. So it's going to be fun, music and shenanigans and such. And like I said, thank you. Oh, if you're trying to find us, if you want to do sponsorship for the NoCoFM podcast, which I would really appreciate, go on Instagram, NoCoFM _podcast. You can send me a DM, let me know what's going on, and I'll give you some details that way. Again, special thanks to Watershed for putting out when all the spring markets start. It's really classy the way I'm holding this up. And thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, again, I'll see you next Friday.